Hello everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. So today we are going to be making fufu. For those who don't know, fufu is an indigenous Nigerian meal. However, it's not just eaten in Nigeria, but it's also eaten in some other parts of West Africa. For those who don't know, I'm going to be using cassava for this recipe. And cassava is a root crop, just like your potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams. However, it is more starchy and more stretchy. So I'm going to be showing you two ways in which we can make this. So you can choose either way you like. So let's get started. I'm using 2 cassava roots, which is also known as yuca. And I'm also going to be using 2 green plantains. So what I'm doing right now is just peeling the cassava roots. And I'm using my potato peeler for this. You can also use a knife for this. It will work just as well. Some people like to ferment their cassava before they make the fufu. All you have to do is to cut your cassava, then leave it inside water for 3 to 5 days. In that way, your cassava is going to be fermented, and then you can blend it and continue with the process. I'll now be cutting this into small cubes because I'm going to be blending this later, and I want the blending process to be quite easy for my blender. So now I'm going to put this inside some room temperature water just to remove the excess starch away from the cassava. I'll be peeling my plantains, and I'll also be cutting them into small pieces. You may be wondering why I'm using plantains. It's just because it helps to reduce the stretchiness of the fufu once it's done. If you don't want to use it, it's all well and good. Just follow the same procedure and you are going to get an excellent result. Now drain the water away from the cassava and put them inside the blender. I've got a small jar, so I'm going to divide that into 2. I'll put half of the cassava first and half of the plantain. When you want to blend this, you need to put just a little bit of water. If you put too much water, your fufu is going to come out too loose, and you don't want that. You are going to need a very strong blender to blend this, and I blended this for about 2 minutes to get this really nice and smooth consistency. I'll now be dividing this into 2 so that I'm going to be showing you the 2 ways in which I make this. The first half I'm going to be making on the stove top, and to do that, just pour everything inside the pot, turn on your heat to medium, and start stirring the batter. Now you have to stir very fast because you don't want any lumps to form inside the fufu, and you don't also want to crank on the heat too high, otherwise the lumps are going to form. So just keep on stirring. After a couple of minutes, let's say about 4 to 5 minutes, you see the batter changing into fufu. So at this point, you need to stir even faster so that everything can come together nice and smooth. So here we go, our fufu is looking nice and good. It's almost all done now, but I have to add a little bit of water just to loosen the texture a little bit. And I also want the fufu to cook very well. It's time to stir this one more time. So this is the point I enjoy most when making fufu. I just like to stir and stir and stir so that everything is going to come out beautifully well. So what I like to do is to wrap this inside plastic wraps so that the fufu will not end up forming a crust on the top. And once we are ready to eat it, we just remove it from the wraps. The microwave method is a very easy method. All you have to do is just to pour your batter inside a microwave safe bowl, then cover it with a microwave safe lid and pop that inside your microwave. First, I like to leave this to cook for about 5 minutes. Then I take it out and give it a good stir. After that, I add a little bit of water just to loosen the texture, just like I did previously. And I'm going to cook it again for another 5 minutes until the texture is nice and smooth. So here we go. After about 12 minutes, my fufu is all done. As you can see, it has exactly the same texture as that of the stovetop. It's looking very nice and smooth. So just like I did previously, I'm going to be putting this inside my plastic wrap and I'll be keeping it till we are ready to eat it. So today I'm going to be serving my fufu with a goosey soup. And if you want to know how I make my goosey soup, I will leave a link to that in the description box below. You can also serve this with your ewedu or okra soup. I'll also leave a link to my okra soup anyways. So that is it again for today. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. As usual, all the details to this recipe can be found in the description box. Until next time, I will talk to you shortly. Enjoy.